Alright, I'm going to talk about a rope connector now. So a rope connector is a easy way to connect two different lines. They can be the same size or they can be two different sizes as long as they're done in a certain way, or it can be a rope and webbing. So for example, if I want to connect this end to this other end, what I will do, I'm going to pretend the orange one's the bigger one, okay? Bigger, stiffer, whatever the case is. I'm going to put a bend in that line, which just means that, okay? With my other line, it can be the same size or smaller, or it can be webbing. But the bigger, stiffer one's got to be the bend. What I'm going to do is lay it across the top along the bend, so it's almost like the three pieces become aligned. Okay, so there's the bend, and I lay this one on top of it. What I'm going to do with this one is wrap it, around everything. Now, here's the only really complicated part, maybe. I need to cross that line and go through the bend. So I take, let me see if I can see what's going on there. I'm going to take it through the bend there. Now when I pull it, I'm actually going to hold both of these and pull both of those. So it does that kind of thing. Now when I let go and I pull it, it'll snug in tight. Those two lines are now connected. That actually ends up, again, being the same configuration as a bowline. It just depends which sides I had, connected to make the loop. But that's the same path of the lines that a bowline would have. Okay, so that's a rope connector. You should know better than to use your teeth as tools. Okay, so what I did, I took the bigger, stiffer line, and I put a bend in it. I took the equal size or smaller or the webbing, and I laid it along with it, wrapped it around, and it doesn't matter what direction, if I go this way or that way around, but it does matter that now I cross over that line and go through the loop. I'm going to hold both ends, pull them both, then I let go the loose ends, pull them snug again. That configuration is the same pattern as a bowline. Now here's the way that I do it. Take my bigger end, put a bend in it. Take the rope I'm connecting to it, the smaller one, the flatter one, whatever it's going to be. I lay it with it. I wrap it around everything. I cross over the line that's coming, and instead of sticking the tail end through, I stick a bend through. So what I'm just going to do is put a bend in there and stick the bend through there. So now again, I don't pull the tail end, I pull the bend with everything else. Try not to let it come through. So now it looks like the nan knot. And if I pull this tight as I want, it'll just tighten itself. And if I pull this, it comes out with no knots. So that's a rope connector with a quick release. And that's the most common way that I connect two lines that I don't want to keep connected. So for example, when I have my practice line that I'm keeping in my pocket and I practice on all the time, and I happen to need a extra length in my guy line, I add 6 feet to it just by that rope connector. That's a super easy way to do it. So those 3 knots and that hank, that's good enough for now. Practice that a lot. Practice it a lot. You can pick one of them for now, or maybe go back and do the other ones later. But I would definitely go with the hanking. Get good at the hanking. You want to be faster at the hanking. Every time you put your guy lines away or your ridge line, you want to hank it up every time. Don't coil it. It's once you go hanking and you set your stuff up, you're gonna hate coils. You're gonna hate undoing the knots that coils make. So you'll stop doing coils, start doing hanking. Practice it all the time. Just throw it over, weave it around, pin it, wiggle it out, wrap it and stick it through. And you'll get fast at figuring out which line that is. And there you go. And then you're probably gonna have 6 of these, 6 of them for your guy lines, maybe another for your ridge line, and then that's how fast you want to put it away, and that's how fast you deploy it. So practice your bowline for sure, practice your hanking for sure, and if you want to learn and get good at the nan knot, it's fine. It's not necessary. The bowline is superior, and there's other knots that are similar. I just found that it's easy for me to tie with cold hands, with lack of dexterity. That knot is easier for me to tie. And then the line connector. There's different ways to connect the line, but that one, especially with the quick release, is super convenient, and it's kind of hard to know how good it is and pick another one when you don't want them permanently connected. Blood knot is great when you do want them more permanently connected, and there's other lines, other connectors too, but that line connector is advantageous in a lot of ways, especially when I want my practice line back. I don't want to have to cut it or have it be stuck connected to another line. I just done with it, pull the tag in, hank it up and put it back in my pocket. Okay, so practice whatever, 2 of those knots, 1 of those, whatever. Practice the hanking and the bowline for sure. I would say the nan knot's the least important one, but what you want to do is practice it so much that you can do it in the rainy, cold, windy midnight in a hurry. So when your rain fly blew down and you need to retie your knots and it's raining, make it only take 1 minute to put everything back together instead of 20 minutes to figure everything out, and one knot's coming untied while you're working on the other one. So get good at your knots, get good at your hanking, practice them a lot. You want to know a bowline. You're not expert if you don't know a bowline. So pick a bowline. Hanking is good. The line connector is great, and the nan knot is you can do that one for sure. Maybe you want to pick another one. Maybe you like that one, but those are some that you may want to put in your bucket for now until you figure out the knots you want. If you want a perfection loop or some other kind of bowline. But that's what I would recommend for now, and then I'll get back to the rest of my line techniques when I have a better situation to make the video for you. Anyway, I hope that helps. Stay awesome, keep on kicking ass, and practice your knots.